Hey guys, I haven't been this excited about a product in quite a while. It's my new Prusa MK3S 3D printer. Now, I picked this up about 2 weeks ago. I built it over about an 8-hour period, and I have had it printing almost nonstop. In fact, I haven't really made any YouTube videos in the past couple weeks because I've been so busy playing around with this thing. It's been printing nonstop since I got it. I started off, I picked up a few objects from, out on the internet. There's plenty of different places where you can find that, like Thingiverse.
I didn't quite catch that. Could you please repeat it?
Not talking to you, Siri. So I picked up some free models from Thingiverse online, and there's lots of cool stuff you can print for around the house, a soap holder, things like that, just kind of random stuff. But then I started going and looking at how I could make a better orchid pot. It sounds super random, but a couple of my orchids needed a new pot to fit in, and some of the stuff on the market isn't really that great for orchids. They have a couple of special needs, like they have photosynthetic roots. They need oxygen surrounding the roots. So I wanted to build something that would help my orchids grow and also kind of play around with the 3D printer at the same time. Now, to design it, I used Fusion 360, which I'm using the free version, and it has pretty much everything I need to make some really cool stuff. I haven't run into any limitations that would cause me to need some other software. I tried several different other pieces of software and they didn't seem to work as well, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now, onto the printer itself. It took me about 8 hours to build this. I got the unassembled kit. You can also pay about $200, $250 more to get a pre-assembled version of the printer. But for me, I'm a tinkerer, I'm a gadget guy. I like building things with my own two hands. And I also like seeing how things work start to finish. So if anything goes wrong with this, I know how to take it apart. I know how it all works. And honestly, the build isn't that bad. We'll show you that here in a little bit. But it is pretty involved, so be prepared to spend some time on it. Now, having said that, the difference between this and the Mark III that came before it is basically a different extruder head assembly and some different filament sensors to make it work a little bit better with different filament types. Now, this has a little bit better printing on very fine objects, so you can go down to lower resolutions, and the print head just overall is a lot simpler. You can replace nozzles, for example, without taking it apart. You can just kind of pop the nozzle off and replace it fairly easily. It also has different types of belt tensioners, and from what I'm told, I think some higher quality belts as well on the y-axis and maybe the others. So what I have printing behind me is one of my orchid pot designs, and I'm using PETG filament, which it's my first time printing with that. Up until now, I've been using PLA, which is kind of the de facto standard. You can have these amazing different colors. Like I really like the Prusa filaments, the Galaxy Black, Galaxy Purple, super cool colors. They have kind of this sparkly glitter to them. You can get metal finishes that actually have metal flakes in them. You can get fiber fill, you can get carbon fiber, nylon, ABS, wood fill, pretty much anything you can think of, which is pretty awesome. The reason I'm so excited about this and the reason I talked about the orchid pots is because as a product person, my job is to take an idea, iterate on it quickly, find solutions to problems, and get a product out to market. And this makes me so happy to work with because I was able to do something you could have never done without a 3D printer. I was able to take a design in my head, get feedback from the market, iterate on the design 29 times in about 48 hours, and come up with something that I can actually print and take to market. I have people ready to buy my orchid pots, and that's crazy to me. So with that said, let's take a look at a couple things I printed. Now, as I said, the big thing here is my orchid pots. So you can see a few of these here. These are the latest iteration. I do have some of the older where they were curved bases. This one's just a little shorter. Different sizes. This one was a misprint where the filament broke when it was printing the top half. But all in all, this is where we're at now. And here are some of the PLA filaments that I've been using to do this. So with that said, let's jump in and take a look at what that build's like.
Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you what's inside this mystery box.
Yeah, today I have these
show you a bigger one. A new 3D printer. It's one of the best ones ever yet. And also, it's one of the silent ones ever. You can barely hear it. Like, you couldn't even notice that it would be on right now over there, but it's not. Sadly. Like,
Arlen, can you tell them what that stuff is that you're talking about over there?
This is. So she's trying to say those are like, I don't know what they're called, but those are like maybe I can find them.
It's filament.
They're filament, and it's basically plastic. They melt on this board, and then we have this, and we're gonna hook it up, and then there's like this thing called whatever it's called, and it's on our computer, and then we can tell it what to print or like make what to print. First, if you're gonna get one of these, I would, instead of just making one right away, I would test it first. Otherwise, it could go wrong, and that would be sad.
All right.
And here we go. This is
Red.
This is red. This is galaxy gray. This is galaxy purple.
Yep. Good to see. You got the 3D printing handbook, a parts cheat sheet, along with, it looks like pages to visit. I've been told that the online manual is actually better to use to build this than the printed manual that comes with it, just because they make frequent updates and it seems to be more up to date. So this is the assembly instructions, and this is version 3.13, so we'll check that against what's online. And then we've got a whole bunch of parts. So we have this 2 y-axis MK3S fastener. Let's see what's in here. Yeah, holy cow. Just tons and tons of screws and wires. Holy cow. This is going to be quite the project. Power supply cord. My kids are going to be super into this. It comes with Haribo gummy bears, which is pretty cool. It actually, in the instruction manual, it tells you to reward yourself by having a certain number of gummy bears. So my son was already looking through this, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, I'm looking at I want to do step 10. Yeah, here it is. So step 10, open the gummy bears and enjoy a treat. So it's like they built this for having kids or grown men that act like children to enjoy themselves. MK3S plastic parts set, and you can get this, you can order this in orange or black. I went with orange just because it looks kind of cool. So here's all the 3D printed parts. It's cool because the plastic parts that come with this are actually 3D printed themselves. So they use 3D printers to build the 3D printers. So it's kind of like the robots are taking over, I think. So this is silver PLA that comes with it. I actually thought it came with orange rather than silver. But that's cool because I've got red, purple, and this stuff's pretty cool. It's Galaxy silver, so it has this like kind of metallic sparkle in it. So we have 4 rolls of filament to start out with. This must be the main plate. Unlabeled, but pretty obvious that's the main plate. And the cool thing about the Prusa is, especially this one, is that it has a flexible plate that you use to print on, and it's textured so that all the surfaces of the model, you can get a textured or smooth one, but I went with the textured, because then all the textures of the models that you print kind of have that same feel to them. There isn't one side that's smooth. Also, it's this flexible metal, so when you're done with your print, instead of scraping it off with like a spatula or a knife or something, you just kind of pop it and it should fly right off. The stepper motor. And then finally, this might be the metal rods that actually support the motors and everything else for the different axes. That's it. Let's do this. All right, I feel like maybe this is a relevant tip. So this is the main frame that you have to assemble. And so you have to make sure the long legs are facing towards the front, and you know that's the front because it has the Prusa logo emblazoned, embellished on the front. But the big thing here is that you have to make this as flat as possible. And so what I did is I assembled this on my granite countertops because it's probably the flattest surface I have in the house. So what I did is I loosened all of these, just barely loosened. And then I went through and pressed down on the whole thing, trying to apply pressure to it so that it's as level as possible. And then you torque on the diagonal, you torque these two, you torque these two, and so on across the whole thing, and then you come back and you torque the others. And that should have it as flat as possible when you're done. Hey guys, so we're like 40% done with this, probably 40% at this point. We've got the main frame built and X, Y, and Z axis set up. We've got the extruder head now that we're building with the hot end and everything else, and the extruder motor. This is probably the most time-intensive and difficult piece to build, so we're really taking our time with it. Just a couple of tips and updates. So what I've learned so far is that definitely read each piece of the directions multiple times and ensure that you're doing it properly. We haven't had any mistakes or issues so far, but I think that's just because of that thoroughness. We did finally lose our first part, one of these little M32 nuts. But we do have an extra. There's actually a bag of extras that comes with this. So there's plenty. We don't have a problem there. Other things that I'll note, when you're assembling the frame, this is probably the most difficult thing. I showed earlier that I assembled it on a granite countertop, and you really want to do like granite, marble, concrete, something that you know is flat and even level surface, because that's the most important part, is getting this print bed level. You could be off slightly, but we're talking like fractions of an inch, like 0.08 inches at most, and then it can self-correct once you're actually calibrating it. But the biggest thing I noticed is that over torquing any of these bolts here will cause a huge issue. So what you want to do is kind of just, if you notice that it's off a little bit, first of all check your work surface, but also loosen all of these and then tighten them in a crosswise fashion. But beyond just that, don't tighten them very tight. They don't need to be torqued down super hard. And you'll notice that as you torque them, it just warps the frame more and more. So be sure that they're just, hand tight, and then just a little bit further past that, and that's fine. It's more than stable enough to handle this, but it prevents that frame from warping. And that's going to be the biggest thing when you go and actually print with this, from what I'm told. I've never printed with one, so I'm just kind of talking out my butt right now. It's about it. Also, if you want your kids to help, all you have to do is open up that bag of gummies and they're like on it. So it's been pretty cool. The kids, I think, have had a good time. They're learning stuff and enjoying this experience, I think, so far. Although they're taking a break right now, watching some cartoons or something, I don't know. So, all right, guys, back at it. All right, right now we're running the calibration test for the 3D printer. All in all, it took me maybe, I don't know, 8-ish hours to assemble. So actually a lot quicker than I expected. I had heard stories of up to 20 hours. So better than I thought. So right now it has you take and place a piece of paper on the bed. Just so, in case it catches it, if it catches it, you should shut the printer off. Hopefully that edge isn't up too high, but we'll see. Now it's calibrating the second point on the bed. I have a feeling it's gonna have problems on that back part, but we'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. The only reason I have it on here is because it's doing the bed leveling and checking the Z-axis and everything else. And this is on granite. It's the flattest surface I have in the house. So I think we'll have the best chance of getting a really good calibration set up. All right, we just ran our initial calibrations. I got the first layer height where I want it. It looks pretty beautiful. And now we're going to print out a tree frog. So we'll see how this comes out. I know the bed's heating up. It should be at the right temperature now. Let's see if this thing fires up. Here it goes. Very first real print. So what it does first is it calibrates the Z-axis and it checks 9 different points across the surface very quickly. Very quickly, in fact. Here's our first print. It's a tree frog. See if I can get in a... See how it turns out.